We're rolling. We're strolling. Controlling. Patrolling. Yeah, I know. See, I told you guys, I need to be a rapper, bro. It's time, bro. It's time. Time people will take me seriously with these rap bars. These genius level rap bars. I know today I look like an emo kid. You know, I look like I wanna kill my mom. I wanna kill my dad. And I know it's hard, yeah. My life's so sad. The way I'm just making these lyrics up. Maybe I should actually become a punk rocker because no lie, I got it like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of It's a Brother and a Sister podcast. And this is Inking Out Loud. Back to Inking Out Loud, where I, Khabane moloi, the brother of the podcast, will be coming through and pretty much just be drawing while, blurting out some random streams of consciousness. And hopefully it doesn't deter you guys from wanting to connect with me, but rather makes you guys feel like, hey, this is a pretty cool gent. He's weird, but nevertheless, he's cool as hell. There's been a lot on my mind, as always, as usual. I've been I've been trying to go out more, and in particular, I mean, by the way, I'm just gonna go straight into it to this week. I've been there's been a lot on my mind in the sense that, like, I don't know how to connect with other gents. And like when I say other gents, I mean like men that I've just met, like I've never really encountered before. And this is gonna sound to a lot of people a little zesty, a little weird, but I don't know how to. I want to phrase this in a way where, like, I hope people understand what I'm trying to say. Throughout my life, I've always kind of had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder when it comes to impressing other men. And it's not in like I'm trying to impress other men in like a gay way or whatever, but just in like I want other guys to view me as equal. But then sometimes me trying to do that almost comes across as like a challenge. And I've always hated that, where when I go out to a party and a guy sees me having a great time and I'm having more fun than him, it comes across as, oh, this guy thinks he's better. And maybe that's just my own internal like thinking and I like insecurities and I have to work on that. But I've really started realizing like guys don't know how to like celebrate each other. We don't know how to look at each other and just be like, I'm proud of you. Because when a guy says to another guy, I'm proud of you, it's as if you're sunning him. And it's like, no, sometimes you can just be proud of somebody that's also not your homie, that's not your close, one of your niggas, and just be like, dude, I'm proud of you. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because of the conversation around the male loneliness epidemic. And there's been a lot of conversations that I've heard from people about it. In particular, I've heard a lot of women talk about it. And they're just like fed up whenever I hear them talk about it. Because I think there's like a level of like, men are lonely and it's women's fault kind of conversation that's been coming out. And it's like, nah, not at all. There's too many guys in South Africa, on planet Earth, in the world, for us to really be like putting that on women. And a lot of guys, and I'm using my own examples, by the way, we have like, it's very easy to create camaraderie amongst gents, like Majita. You guys will order something or you guys will see a girl at a bar and like you guys will both have like, god damn, at the same time. And then you guys lock eyes with each other. And then now you guys are just looking at each other like, yeah, like, and then now you guys can chop it up. And it's very easy to have a very surface level friend or camaraderie as gents. But to have like a real nuanced, in-depth relationship, I'm realizing guys don't actually have that. A lot of guys don't have that. And I think even scarier, they don't know how to get that. I realize like I'm kind of privileged in the sense that the friend group that I have, the male friend group that I have, is very like in touch with their emotions. And like we tease each other, we make fun of each other, but we don't ever call each other out for being, I guess, soft. You get what I'm saying? There's that weird thing around being soft and I remember when I was specifically in high school, when I first started high school in grade 8, I remember I was so desperate to making friends because my primary school relationships was terrible, especially with the dudes where I just felt like, I don't know, everybody hated me. And then I started trying to make friends and I started realizing like I gravitate towards the girls more and not in like a lustful way, but in a like the girls genuinely like the camaraderie that I'm having with them is so genuine and I feel like safe and I feel like I can talk to these people. But then I didn't value it at the time because I saw a lot of the guys at school were coming at me and saying like, bro, are you gay? And like having females around you, having women around you, and not trying to smash or you're not trying to hook up with all of them has other gents just perplexed all the time. Like, dude, you're wasting time. Like, why are you not rocking there, in fact? These girls aren't just here for display. You must tell us something, quote unquote, And I'm realizing like, firstly, guys and girls need to really learn how to be genuine platonic friends. Because that's something that like is a lost art form, if anything. Um, and on top of that, guys need to learn how to be able to come out towards each other and seek friendship. Because I don't know, it's also kind of weird to go out to a guy, like one guy going up to another guy and being like, hey, dog, do you want to be friends? I don't know why. Even saying that, I was like, it is kind of gay. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it's just because I'm not used to saying that. Just imagining that is a little left field in a way. And it shouldn't be, but it is. Um, I think about it a lot because a couple years ago, I made friends with a really cool guy named Ebenezer Dibekwane. And if you guys have watched other episodes on the podcast, you've heard me talk about him before. Um, and our relationship started purely because I had to like get past that weird feeling of like, is it gay or weird or sus to ask another gent to want to hang out? Or just, can I be your friend? I look up to you or I admire you. Is that sus? Is that weird? Is that odd? And I just had to like bite the bullet. And I did it. And his response was so warm, so dope, also so sad because then you also realize how lonely everyone is. Where he carves me, I carve him. We've both been watching each other from afar and we've both been admiring each other from afar, but neither of us are able to go up to each other because I don't know, this weird stigma around it. And it's weird because it's like, gents, why do we have Guababa to talk to other gents, but we don't have like Guababa to like harass women? You know what I mean? Like you'll just see a girl with like a huge booty in the club and you'll just like go up to her and just be weird as hell. Like weird, dude. But you don't know how to just ask another guy, hey, where did you get that shoe? Where did you get those shoes, bro? Because that's gay. That's sus. That's out of pocket. That's left field. I don't know. There's a level of like hypocrisy where I'm just like, we really need to ask ourselves, why are we so not only mean to each other, but mean to ourselves in that sense where like there's all of these weird unspoken rules. And like, don't get me wrong, some of them are funny. Like earlier today, I saw one of my homies eating a banana. Banana, sorry. It's still Africa. Banana. I saw one of the homies eating a banana and he was enjoying it. Like shit. He made that shit look delicious. I ain't gonna lie. But like he just ate it in front of me and like, you know, it's nice to call the homies out on that like kind of stuff. Like it's funny. But that's just ridiculous. And it's fun to just be like ridiculous like that. But then when people genuinely start taking things seriously, like a guy can't cross his legs or a guy can't have long hair. I think, see, that's also another thing. I had long hair for a very long time. And a lot of people just assume that, like, if people didn't think I was a girl, yes, that's right. I was pretty when I was in primary school. If people didn't think I was a girl, people genuinely thought like I was gay. And then they would like want to avoid me. And it's like, bro, like, you know, you can be straight and your best friend can be gay. And it's not, that doesn't mean that you're gay. And you being stressed out about like how that would make you look or whatever. I know that a lot of this sounds obvious to a lot of the people that watch this show, but like, you'd be surprised that it's not, you know? Like, every week, without fail, I will talk to at least three of the homies in my squad. And not on some like, um, we're talking about sports or which Kardashian has the biggest booty. Not that any gen talks about the Kardashian like that when women aren't around, but we're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're talking about literally just, how do you feel? How have you been? Where's your head at? Where what's going on? What's been the biggest trial and tribulation that's been going on in your life? And I feel like as a gent, as a father, as a brother, as a bro, as a bra, as a bro, as an mpinchi, as a dinchaka, as a confidant, as a, amigo, whatever you want to call it, as that, if you don't do that, I don't think you're a good person. I don't think you're a good man. Because I think as men, we need to actually check up on each other. Because you'd be surprised, the whole reason why you hear all these weird stories about men being like trash and all of that is because they're lonely and they don't even know how to speak to women. They don't know how to speak to you as a gent. So now by the time they get to women, like, eh, they're socially inept. They're like just, they're cooked, bro. So I really think like we need to just practice creating those like relationships as bros, as bras, as majita, where we really make sure that like we check in on the bro, we check in on the dog, because you also don't know what people are going through. This is not even like a a a suicide thing alone, because like I said, I brought up Ebenezer earlier, and we all know how he lost his life, but it's like, it's not just that. It's also like your social your socializing ability just generally. Like, we really don't know how uncomfortable we make each other because we don't know how to socialize just generally. If you only know how to socialize when there's like black labels around, you have a problem. You need to just check yourself, bro. You need to really make sure like I'm okay. And also, just by the way, um, I know a lot of guys that like watch like Andrew Tate stuff disagree with me on this. Like, why are you checking in with another man? As men, it's our duty to be strong and by ourselves and stoic and oh, if that's how you think genuinely, like I'm telling you this now, you're not gonna mess with a lot of the content that I make and like you can just shut me out now. Because I really, really don't believe that. I think men have been their best and created their best ever feats in human history when we check in on each other and make sure that, we're okay, you know? Like, even the most atrocious men of all time, I'm sure they checked in on each other because that's how they were able to like succeed and stuff. You don't think the Nazis were busy there checking in on each other, like, how are you doing, Hitler? And it's like nine. Like you don't think I think. I think. I'm being goofy right now. I'm being dumb. But I really mean everything what I'm saying right now in the sense that I want guys to check in on each other. I want to be one of those people that like check in on other people. I have my friend group and I'm blessed to say that like I have people that genuinely are concerned for me and about me where like they won't just call me when there's an emergency happening, but they'll call me to congratulate me when I do something dope. And it doesn't matter how small the feat is or how big it is. They'll just like, hey, see you, bro. And not in a weird way where it feels sus because now they understand me. You get what I'm saying? Compliment your homies, by the way. Compliment them. Tell your homie, like, hey, dog, your hair's looking fire today. They have an umbantla, say your shine is looking delicious today. You know? Compliment your boys. Make sure that, like, we feel good. There's a level of, like, things that I didn't believe back in the day where women would say, like, their relationships are better than ours. Because every other week, especially at school, I'm seeing friend groups break up, girlfriend groups break up all the time, and I'm like, ah, these ones, he's not make sure. There's no camaraderie here. But in actuality, it's because they're able to express themselves all the time that like they're able to break up and get back together and figure each other out and really understand each other. Whereas us, one fight, nah, I don't fuck with that nigga no more. Why? I don't like the way he eats yogurt. It's just nasty. And it's like, what? What? I remember I remember I had a weird exchange. Like my fresh out of high school with this guy that like shall not be named. And I genuinely thought him and I were like friends or whatever. But like looking back at it, the things that we always talked about was just girls. We only just spoke about girls. And then like one day I was making a joke about pregnant people. I don't remember what the joke was, but I'm very sure it was funny. But he was not amused. He was not amused. He was really upset. And he just started threatening me. And he was like, I'll fuck you up. I'll beat the shit out of you. And I couldn't like, I didn't understand what the issue was. I couldn't de-escalate it. So I just apologized. I was just like, dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. Please just chill. And he's like, yeah. That's what I thought. And like to this day, we don't talk. We're not friends. We're not homies or whatever. But I always wonder, like in my head, like what about that I said triggered him? And then I started thinking about it more and I was like, I actually don't know anything about that guy. Because every single time we spoke with each other, it was either about like how to make moves, like how to make more money or how to get more honeys. And like, I don't know what he was going through. I don't know what demons he was facing. I don't know who's pregnant by his house that like when I said that joke, he's just like, Ed, please. And he also, like looking back at it, he didn't have the words either to express why something offended him. And I don't know if it's because he thought it would make him look weak or whatever. But I just look back at all of it and I'm just like, dang, I really, really wish him and I were just both better at communicating with each other. But the only way you get that is by communicating with each other, you know, and being vulnerable and talking about the things that maybe you don't want to talk about. Um, I'm not saying just trauma dump on every random stranger you meet. Like protect your peace. You know, if not everyone needs to know everything about you. But have a select few people that like you hold closely and see how hold you can hold them. You know, like tell them the last time you cried and why you cried. Tell them about like great losses that you've gone through and what you did to overcome it. And not just be on some, I don't cry, boy. I'm fair to you. You know, it must be strong. Because what the fuck does that mean? Must be strong. Does that mean you must just hold it in until you die? That's what it means. Because in that case, then like, everyone that's constipated is strong as hell. Y'all gotta stop chilling with like y'all gotta stop talking to kids like that. Oh my gosh, the other day I just saw like this kid was like, you could see he was like, I was fetching my nephew from school and I saw there was this kid throwing like a proper tantrum at school. And everyone was just like weirded out by him. And no one went to go try after he finished his like tantrum. No one tried to figure out what he was going through. Everyone was just like, get a load of this guy. And like for the rest of that like little boy's life, he's forever gonna be on some don't feel, never feel, especially in public. If you feel you're inadequate. And like what is that gonna do for him and his kids and so on and so forth? So I'm just like, generally as gents, there's a lot of cycles that like we really gotta break. There's a lot of introspection that we really need, just generally. And there's a lot of like weird stigmas that you just gotta let go of, bro. Like caring about your nigga is not gay, bro. Okay, maybe a little. But like I don't know, man. I really am concerned, especially with how South Africa, just generally, in terms of how men and women talk to each other. And I'm realizing that the way in which men and women talk to each other, it's really cruel and mean. And it's because we don't know how to talk to anyone generally. We're always just trying to be the smartest person in the room, trying to win every conversation. Like everything is a battle. Everything is me showing dominance. And I think it's because we live in a time where we don't have power as individuals anymore. Like, you know, I know we hate this word and blaming capitalism for everything is the pits, but it's true. Like everyone is broke right now. So now everyone's trying to figure out different ways to like insert power over each other. And we're doing it in the weirdest ways where like homies can't even like have female friends or else it's either he's gay or he's trying to smash or he's just weird. And it's like, nah, bro. And I thought this was just a Gen Z thing. But then I started carving like grown ass adults, fathers are busy telling their kids, hey, why are you hanging out with girls? Why are you being and they're telling their kids, and it's like, bro, like, are you sick in the head? Is every time you see a han or even a girl, like a little girl, it has to be associated with some panty foolishness. I must trademark that panty. I just came up. Um, I don't know, man. It's sad and it's pathetic, and I know we can do better for each other, for ourselves, by each other, and yeah, gents, it's not women's responsibility for us to feel okay with ourselves. It's our responsibility, and I just really want to like emphasize that heavily because, yeah, man, I have strength is a very important virtue and it's an important value. And yes, we will instill that in the next generation. Without a doubt, the next generation will be strong and they will be able to build houses out of, and they'll show their dominance and be strong. All of that. Cool. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. But like there's certain nuances that we actually need to address with ourselves. I was looking at what's been happening in Japan now, and they literally have these like weird escort things that like you can pay for like full time, where you can get like random women to just hug you. Niggas are that like niggas don't know how to ask for a hug. They have to like pay for a hug. They have like a Uber Eats app to just be like, hey, ngicela, just some warmth, some love and embrace. That's literally what Nick and it's crazy because they are asking for that from gents just as much as they're asking it. Like gents are asking for it from other gents just as much as they're asking for it from girls because they just don't know how to express that. Hey, bro, I need a hug. And to me, that's crazy. That's so wild. None of your homies want to touch you unless we're playing sports and we have to be like, it's a contact sport, so we gotta be like aggressive and shit. None of your homies even want to touch you. That's weird. Then why are y'all homies? I know y'all not homies to touch each other, but like y'all know what I'm trying to say. I know y'all know exactly what I'm trying to say. And I really just hope, firstly, my generation, I really hope we can figure ourselves out. I feel like that's also why I have a bit of a disconnect as of late with hip hop because I'm starting to carve like back in my day, back in like 2016 when like hip hop was like the craziest for me. I remember like men and women would both go out to hip hop shows and be dancing and having a good time. But now it's just like a bunch of guys just shirtless, mosh pitting, scaring the girls away, and then it's like we're like aggressive as hell. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little blindsided because I was standing too close to an elephant back in my day, and then, like I'm thinking it was more inclusive, and it wasn't perhaps. But if when I look at it now, dude, I go to like a hip hop party. Now I see some of my favorite hip hop artists, Bo, um, the Quellas, and Kylie Nash, and them. And I have all of these gents are just like thousands and thousands of niggas and balaclavas. And I'm just like, I thought there were more women than men in this country. What is going on? And also, none of these niggas like each other. That's the craziest part about it. Like, we're not even going out to have a good time with each other. We just want to be amongst other people and have a good time by ourselves. That to me is like the wildest shit. And like, I hope we figure that out because I feel it in the music, I feel it in our arts, I feel it everywhere. And I really, really, really can't wait for us to just be able to care, care about and not feel like, weird. I keep repeating this, and I'm really wanted to just clock into your heads that I actually like care because I want you guys to care. If there's a gent out there, I'm talking to the gents. I guess you guys can, y'all smart enough to understand. If there's a gent or out there that you admire, look up to, that you fuck with, you think is just a cool ass nigga, and you guys will be able to like connect. Go connect, brother. Go connect with that person. Have a good fucking time. And don't make it weird. It's only weird if you make it weird. We are people at the end of the day. The universe put us here for us to connect with each other. Because if that wasn't the case, then each of us would have our own planet on our own. So we're on the earth together. Let's express ourselves with each other, amongst each other, care about each other. And yeah, that was pretty much inking out loud. I think I said everything that I needed to say. This drawing is not done just yet, but by the next episode, it definitely will be. And yeah, I hope you guys like the end result. Let's see if I can finish this quick. So yeah, my name is Khabane Moloi. Thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. It's a brother and a sister with me and my amazing sister, Fabi Moloi. And yeah, this is Thinking Out Loud. I hope to see you guys in another episode. Happy, you know. And yeah, till the next. I'm gonna finish this in the meantime. But I hope you guys are enjoying. Yeah. Yeah.